What is privilege to you, fam?
Privilege. It is something you have that you kind of take for granted, I would say. In my opinion, do you get my point? Like, there are so many different privileges, right? You could be look like a supermodel, you're privileged, right? You could have like being white in a white man's country is a privilege. There's a lot of different privileges, right? You could come from a privileged background, as you say, when you have a lot of money or a lot of status or so on and so forth, right? There's all kinds of privileges, right? And also, I think privilege is also it's a perception. Also, people perceive privilege is different. So yeah, I think it's something that. Like this person might think they're not privileged, but the other person say, well, this person is privileged. So you have to see it from the different side of the coin. I think you can't be like, oh, I am some people know that they're privileged, right? Yeah. So they know, I had a very privileged background, or what do they say? But it's, I don't know. It's a tricky word, you know. I think it's been used kind of quite all over the place, sometimes wrong, you know. Like it's been sloshed around a bit too much.
And there's something interesting. Meaning. There's something interesting that you said that I really want to focus on. That you said that people might have different definitions of privilege, right? While the first thing that comes to people's mind when you're from this part of the world, when you're living in Europe, it's you automatically think about the struggle and the things that is going around, the things that's going on, you know, the BLM movement, a lot of things, the white privilege and everything. I am asking everybody who's listening, and you as well, that to drop any preconceived notion when I speak about the privilege, because I realized that me growing up in a joint family back in Bangladesh, back in Dhaka, was a privilege for me. And I did not understand that.
Yeah.
I failed to understand that having your loved ones near to you at all times is a privilege.
That's a privilege as well, yeah.
Having that freedom to go and run to your grandma's house as floor down and talk to your grandma and spend some time, that's a privilege.
Yeah. That's a kind of privilege. To have both parents is a privilege. Being compared to those who don't have any parents, or who are adopted, or not really adopted, but like don't have any mum and dad, they see people with a mum and dad privileged.
Right.
So that's a privilege.
But
you don't really know. You don't.
Being able to like say to mom, nah, you know, today I feel like eating something else, and you just run down to your aunt's place, and there she's like a block away. That's a privilege.
Sure.
And now we are in this place, we're in this European lifestyle where everybody is so for themselves, that even if you need to go see your dad, you need to ask for an appointment or ask for a day. Like, Dad, when are you free? Okay, I'll come over that day. Does that time work for you? And I'm not saying it because I have seen it. I'm saying it because I'm guilty of it. There are times where my relatives over here would call me, and I'm like, nah, that day doesn't work for me. Yeah. But these were not even questions when you live in a joint family, because they're just a door down, and they would pop up. And what I thought about that when I did not even have this perception, that was like, everybody is so up in my grill. That I did not realize that what you have right now, a lot of people would die to have that. Having your loved one, having your close ones with you, having people that love you, take care of you, and there for you, and they stick up for you. It's a privilege.
Sure. Yeah. It is. That's a privilege. Privileges come in many different forms. And that is one of them. And I think also, like your point about, because you were a kid as well, right? So you have a lot more time. So that when, you can't be like, oh, you have time just to go to your grandmother's or go to your father's or mother's. It's easier. But to have a grandmother or a mother to go to is also a privilege for some But also, like, when you're older, you know, you have shit to do, blah blah blah. You don't really have time to see. Like, you got to think, oh, do I have time for this? Do I have time for that? So that shit changes, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, privileges come in many different forms. Like if you're a very attractive person, that's a privilege. People treat you better if you look really good. You know, if you're ugly, people don't, you know, they don't give a fuck. So that's a privilege itself.
And if you, and we all know this, what you said is it's almost universal truth, and some people would disagree, but most of them must be good looking. That's when they disagree. Like, no, it's not about my looks. I'm like, yes, pretty much is.
Listen.
But of course, not to discredit anybody who has worked their asses off to get to positions that they have gotten. But then we have examples, and I'm not talking about 90% of the people. Probably 90% of the people or 80% of the people have worked their way up.
Oh, of course.
But those 20% who are those good-looking people, we have seen them. You know, it sounds wrong, but like they mooch. You know, they.
No, the thing is, I think they don't know that they are that privileged.
Come on. They know.
No,
they know. Every person who has met them in every juncture of their life has told them, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're so good looking."
But they take that for granted.
No. They know the effect it has in a room when they walk in. They can see that. Yeah. Especially if when you say attractive, I'm really thinking really attractive.
Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, like.
So you know the room changes when you come in. You know how people, you know, the Xanax use this word simp, you know, how guys simp, you know, they just want to, hey, what can I bring you? What can I do? And there's two ways of you looking at it. Like, either you like, like, I don't know why I have this power, but I have this power, and then I'm going to exercise this power. And some of them be like, oh man, I don't understand why I have it. It's nice to see it, but I'm not going to misuse it.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one kind of privilege.
That is a privilege.
Yeah. Another privilege is, like, on a lighter note, big from Dhaka, just because we were on a tangent of being home, and it was on it's in my head, and privileges when you, and it sounds so fucked up, but it's so true. Privileges, whenever there is a vacancy for any kind of jobs back home, we fill that position. If you are in a gas station and you don't want to get up and fill your own tank, there's a guy standing there for you. If you cannot open your own gate, there's a guy who'll open your gate. If you come back home and you don't want to take off your socks, there's a maid. Those are the privilege that you did not even think how big of a privilege that is.
No, that's a privilege, man.
Like, I give you simple examples. Like in Sweden, you would cross bridges all the time. There's a lot of bridge, and then toll money is there. 21 crowns, 11 crowns. Morning to 6 o'clock, there are times and you got to pay the toll. In Dhaka city, there's somebody you will stop the car. He will print out a ticket for you, and then you will pay the guy, and then he will give you the ticket, and you pay the guy money, and that's your toll. So there's the places where you don't even need a person to do anything. We have a person to do it for. So we don't have to press anything. There's no automatic system. Don't get it twisted. There's no like, they will register your car, they would read it, and then bung bung, and they already know you pass through. No. Back home, it's like there's a nice guy sitting in a nice chair, you know, in the beginning of the bridge. It's like, you stop there, the guy's like, here, you go here, and then you like, go. So it's like, and then, you know, you reach home, and you feel lazy to open the car. Somebody opens the door for you. So these are also privileges that I did not see it.
But they're not doing it for free, like.
No, but dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Bruh, do you not really think you did not teach us a couple of things about colonizing our own self? I think we saw the British and we were like, we could just keep doing that to our own people too.
That's what we do to our own people as well, bro. We have like class system and shit. working class, middle class. Yeah, man.
Actually, probably the maid system did come from you. Did you guys? You guys had maids, right? Yeah. And it was just like it was there for us, and we learned from the best, I guess.
Yeah.